Welcome back to Time Roast with Ancient Legends. Today, folks, we've got one of the boldest, sharpest leaders of Native America, a man who could outspeech a TED talker, out-strategize a general, and probably out-roast me before I finish my coffee. Chief Tecumseh. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you. I was told there would be buffalo here. Instead, I see glowing rectangles and people arguing about Wi-Fi. Interesting tribe you've got here.
All right, folks, let's start light. Jokes, laughs, and a few arrows of truth. Chief, you ready to roast the future?
Yes, Paul, I am ready. Go ahead.
Chief, first question of the first segment. What would you say if you saw TikTok for the first time?
A whole nation doing dances in tiny boxes. My warriors trained for months to move like that. Here they just wiggle and call it viral. I'd say your spirits are strong, but your feet are weak.
If you had a smartphone, what app would you download first?
Google Maps. I could have saved months uniting tribes if I had a voice saying, "Turn left at the buffalo herd."
How would you roast fast food in modern America?
Disappointed. You conquered a continent to eat bread, meat, and cheese stacked like a tower? Warriors once hunted buffalo. Now they hunt for Wi-Fi at McDonald's.
If you joined Twitter X, what would your bio say?
Leader, orator, professional at roasting invaders since 1768. DM for tribal unity.
What would you say to a modern politician?
Less talking, more walking. If your legs are weaker than your speeches, sit down.
What's your funniest observation about city life today?
You built giant villages called cities, but everyone walks with their heads down, staring at glowing rocks. Even my horses had better posture.
Now we shift gears, folks. Tecumseh was not only funny, he was a fierce critic. Let's hear his fire in segment 2. Chief, what do you think about modern governments?
Different flags, same greed. Leaders promise unity while drawing lines on maps. The earth laughs at your borders.
How would you judge modern warfare?
Drums replaced by drones. Honor replaced by buttons. You no longer see your enemy, only pixels. That is not bravery.
Your view on climate change today?
You treat the earth as if you own her. She will remind you. She owns you.
What about capitalism and consumerism?
You built temples of shopping. Your warriors fight not for freedom, but for discounts.
What's your critique of modern education?
You fill heads with facts, but starve souls of wisdom. A full head with an empty heart is still a fool.
Final roast on technology?
Your tools are powerful, yet they weaken you. The bow made us strong. Your phone makes you scroll.
All right, folks, time to dig deeper. Tecumseh was a philosopher warrior. Let's see his analysis of modern life. Sir, tell us, how do you define true leadership?
A leader eats last, listens first, and walks the path he asks others to follow. Leadership is service, not selfies.
What lesson can modern people learn from Native unity?
That strength is not in numbers, but in harmony. Even a small circle can hold against a great storm if it stands together.
How would you analyze social media's effect on society?
It gives every voice a stage. but not every voice deserves it. Noise drowns wisdom.
What do you think about modern freedom?
True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is living in balance with the earth and respecting others' freedom.
What's your take on modern heroes?
Many are famous for being loud, not brave. A hero is remembered not for words, but for sacrifices.
How would you describe the human condition today?
You are rich in knowledge, poor in wisdom, fast in action, slow in understanding. A great paradox.
Now it's time for the fun part. Let's play What If with Chief Tecumseh. If you had access to modern weapons, what would you do? Tecumseh.
I would melt them into farming tools. My people needed bread, not bombs.
If you were president of the U.S. today, what's your first action?
Dismantle your walls, plant trees, and make Congress work in the fields for one season. Then, let's see their laws.
If you time travel to 2025, what would shock you most?
That you can fly like eagles in machines, yet still fight like children.
If you faced climate change warriors today, what advice would you give?
Do not just protest the storm. Plant the forest that stops it.
If you could unite the world today, what banner would you raise?
No flags, no nations, only earth, only humanity.
Imagine you had a podcast yourself. What's its title?
The Fire Circle. No ads, just truth.
And finally, folks, the emotional side. Chief Tecumseh wasn't just a warrior. He was a soul with a vision. Chief, first question of the last segment. What do you miss most from your time?
The silence of the forest, broken only by drums and wind.
What breaks your heart about today's world?
The children grow up with screens instead of stars.
What inspires you about modern humanity?
That even in chaos, you still dream. Dreams are the seeds of tomorrow.
What's your personal philosophy of life?
Live so that your death is not feared, but remembered as a spark that lit others.
What message do you want to give to our audience today?
Respect the earth. Respect each other. And laugh more. The greatest warriors always carried joy.
If you could leave one legacy for the future, what would it be?
Unity. Without it, nations fall. With it, even the smallest tribe becomes eternal.
Wow, folks. That was Tecumseh. Fierce, funny, and full of wisdom. If you enjoyed this roast through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, this has been Time Roast with Ancient Legends. Stay bold, stay curious, and remember, even history has a sense of humor.